Hi, thank you for joining us again. This is Tamaya, my cafe. And if this is not
Hello.
hi, if this is not the first time, if it is the first time that you're watching us, then please have a look at the link below. There is a link to a video of us sharing who we are and what we do. So in the group healings that we do, we pick a topic each time, and we use the words X and R quite a lot, and that means extract and release. So we gather information, we clear it, we say X and R, extract and release, to make room for new reality to arise. So today we're going to look at vulnerability and what that means to us, or how we view vulnerability. We're going to try to shift things around vulnerability. So firstly, I want to start with vulnerability. When I think about vulnerability, I actually find that quite an attractive quality. And when people feel safe around me, safe enough to share how they truly feel and share their emotions and share their hardship, I feel so honored. I feel so special. And I actually find that really, really attractive. And in our society, often that's not the case. So everything preventing us from viewing vulnerability as an attractive quality in people, are we willing to extract and release?
Yes.
X and R, X and R, X and R, and so it is.
And that's exactly where I wanted to start off. I wanted to say all the fixed point of views we have on vulnerability and everything we define vulnerability, all that do we want to extract and release. X and R, X and R, X and R, and so it is. In all the places we judge ourselves for being vulnerable, and all the places we feel guilty and bad and not good enough for being vulnerable, all of that, do we want to extract and release all of it.
Yes.
X and R, X and R, X and R, and so it is. And I'll add a few more. What's possible that we'll enjoy our vulnerability and that we'll enjoy the fact that it opens, vulnerability opens relationships. It's every single time I was vulnerable in places where I was actually judging myself, many times, most of the times, if not all the times, I found that those people started sharing similar stories that they were ashamed, and I was the first one they ever told it to. And the more vulnerable I was, the more I shared vulnerable things that most people don't talk about, the more I found out that everyone has these same things, and they were hiding it because they felt bad. And I actually gave them a gift. My vulnerability was a gift for them to open up, to release the big burden they carried all these years, all the shame they had around it. So everything that brings up and everything that doesn't allow us to do that, we want to extract and release all that.
Yes.
X and R, X and R, X and R, and so it is.
Yeah, and all points of view that we've taken, we might think the vulnerability is okay. But, whether it's our parents or the teachers, whether we learn that at school from our peers, we learned, or, we got taught that there's no room for vulnerability, and vulnerability equals weakness. And that's altered how we behave, or how we conduct ourselves, or what we share with others. So everywhere, all those places that we've allowed that to affect who we are we willing to extract and release to make room for the
Yes,
X and
yes,
Y, and so it is. And often, if you're watching this, potentially you've watched similar content, you've done some work on yourself, and you know that sharing, or that, showing vulnerability is not a bad thing. But then there's still a path to walk there, because you might feel that it's okay to feel vulnerable, and then you choose someone that you feel safe enough to share with, and then they potentially are in a different place, and they think that no, you showed vulnerability at this point in time, they take it as weakness, or they judge you, or they potentially tell you to your face that they judge you, depending on the situation. And then I want to talk about that place, that, the courage that it took to show vulnerability in that situation. And I want us to extract every impact that would have potentially had on you, that could prevent you from being vulnerable again. So everything you've taken on from the other person to alter all the good work you've done on accepting yourself as you are in that moment, are you willing to extract and release?
Yes.
X and R, X and R, X and R, and so it is.
I love everything you said, because what came up for me was also that we judge ourselves for being weak, and that people couldn't exploit the thing we share and can use it against us, use this story against us at this timing or a different timing, and many times it makes us afraid from being weak, seeing as weak, being vulnerable in front of them. And first of all, everything that brings up XNR, XNR, XNR. And what I wanted to add is, when we're strong from the inside, really strong, not fake, then no one can ever use anything against us. Because when we're whole, we feel whole. We accept ourselves. We feel fine. We're not perfect. We even have a video, I think, on perfectionism. We're not perfect, and it will never be perfect. And we'll always make mistakes. That's part of learning. And we're growing. And it's just all these fixed. Everyone is. There's no perfect. There's no such thing. And if they want to laugh at something or use something against us, if we feel strong from the inside, they have no power. They could laugh
Mm.
at us, and we'll just say, yeah, yeah, I could see how it was funny. One time I used to laugh at such things, but I'm okay with what I am. So everything that doesn't allow us to be okay and really strong from the inside and really accept ourselves the way we really are, so that there's no way anyone could exploit it. If we're accepting of ourselves, do we want to extract and release all of that?
Yes.
X and R, X and R, X and R, and so it is.
I had a thought when you shared that, and please give me feedback on it. I was thinking, in the corporate world, there is a place to be vulnerable, and maybe there's places like, in particular jobs where vulnerability isn't accepted. So first of all, I want to do a clearing on everything that's preventing us from having clarity on how, the level of vulnerability that we should expose, and what scenarios and what situations, should we do that, are willing to extract and release everything preventing that clarity.
Yes,
X and R, X and R, X and R, and so it is. And we're talking about how vulnerability is a good thing, and at the same time, in the corporate world, often, when someone shares their hardship at home or what they're going through, then they could face a situation where they're either been told to their face or behind their back. There is a bit of a chat going on, going, oh, their focus isn't on work at the moment. They shouldn't get the promotion because they've got this and this going on, or they're going through a breakup, or they're getting divorced, or, there's something going on, when that person thought, I'm going to show myself and my vulnerability. I'm going through a rough patch, and I want them to know, I want to get support. And that gets, like you said, they can use that against that person. And I would love for our reality to change, where in every job, in every situation, being vulnerable is always celebrated and is always met with support. And everything preventing from that being a reality, we're willing to extract and release.
definitely.
X and R, X and R, X and R, and so it is.
I love the example you gave. Two things that I thought about when you were speaking. First of all, I love the pioneers, the ones where they're in a corporate world or somewhere else and they do something unexpected. And these are the people that make a change. We make a difference. We do, you know. Um, I have so many examples, like of Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. They did things that nobody, they left like university, I think, stuff that people judged, and they knew what felt right for them. Now, sometimes we act vulnerable, not on purpose. We just all of a sudden lose our self-control and are vulnerable in a certain moment because we have a trigger, or we all of a sudden feel hurt and we show it. And then we feel so guilty and bad. And what will they think? But when we own it, when we say, hey, this is how I'm feeling and it's okay, it's okay. First of all, this gives other people that it's more legitimate for others to be vulnerable when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable. And no one is all the time 100% feeling good. And you know what? I wouldn't want to be in a job where I'm not allowed to ever feel like a heartache, a breakup, or if I'm going through something and it's being ignored. This is not the type of place I would like to be. So if this is if I find out that when I'm vulnerable or when I show something and they use it against me, and even if they don't give me a promotion or they fire me, if I feel good with it, if I accept myself, if I own it, I believe that the universe will give me something much better really soon. If I don't resist myself, if I don't judge myself, and if I don't go in a down, down, down with it, if I feel okay, I did that, it's okay. They fired me. Okay, what else can come out of this? You know what? From sometimes from these extreme contrasts, we get the biggest presents ever. You understand? These are sometimes the biggest gifts. So everything that brings up, do you want to extract and release all of that?
Yes.
Xenar, and so it is. And I want to say something else about this. Many times when I was by mistake vulnerable, not on purpose. I love the fact that you want to add choice to it, that you want us to have clarity when to be vulnerable. But sometimes, we're triggered and we don't control it. And it happened to me. And many times it was a present because even in the corporate world, and I was in the corporate world for many years, even there, all of a sudden, the person in front of us, the one that we think that we're good, they're going to judge us. They finally have clarity to why we weren't giving our 100%, why we weren't 100% focused. And then they're like, oh, okay. We finally get, we get empathy from them. It could be very surprising. They have a reason to, instead of just firing us for no reason. For example, they could have empathy and they could give us a bit more time. You understand? They could help us find a solution. It could be something amazing that opens up. So everything that we're fixated that it's not good and that it can hurt us, instead of finding that it's always for us and it's all okay to be with as much choice as possible when we want to be vulnerable. But even if it happened by mistake, it's okay because it's for us. Do you want to extract and release all that? X and arcs and arcs and irons. So it is.
It's a wonderful video. I can feel the vibrations in my body of choosing to be vulnerable and accepting that vulnerability within me and celebrating this vulnerability and knowing that wherever I choose to share it, I feel safe because I accept it within myself. So it's not even if it gets judged, I won't judge myself for it because I feel that I'm in a good place with it. So and this video just helped affirm that, and I hope for everybody to feel that. And obviously, the fact that I feel like that in this moment doesn't mean I'll feel like that tomorrow, but I could really feel the change from the clearings we've done. So thank you.
Thank you. Perfect.
Mm.
So, if you have any requests, comments, places that you connect to what we said, any questions, anything, we'd love your comments. We'd love your feedback. And if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe.
And we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.
Bye.